Hi guys, welcome to the Lexus GS F. This is the first high performance version of the GS to be launched in Australia anyway. It's the furthest extension of Lexus's F Sport philosophy, but unlike the F Sport package, which you can get on pretty much every Lexus these days, this is a dedicated F model. So it's not just garnished with you know, a body kit and big wheels. It's actually fully developed as a sports car from the get-go. Now this thing has a potential to be a very good car for two main reasons in my opinion. The first is that it's based on the latest GS, which is a really nice handling car, plenty of room inside, comfortable, and a lot of good technology. The second reason is because it's basically the bigger brother to the old Lexus ISF, and the ISF is one of my personal favourites. It's got a nice tight limited slip differential, beautiful V8 engine, and a very quick changing 8-speed automatic. It carries over the same 5-litre V8 engine as the ISF, but it's been heavily revised. It's got titanium valves on the intake and the exhaust side. It's also got a higher compression ratio of 12.3 to 1 compared with 11.1 to 1. That means it's a real hardcore naturally aspirated engine, like an old Ferrari or a Type R Honda. One of the great things I like about the GSF so far is just the stance, the look of the thing. It's very imposing. It's got these bolstered wheel arches with the big vents behind the front wheels there. And of course a carbon fibre spoiler on the back, quad outlet exhaust pipes, and then a carbon fibre spoiler around at the front as well. It's also got a deeper front chin with these huge intakes in the front there and little coolers behind the corner intakes there. It's definitely got the telltale signs of a hardcore sports sedan. I like the way Lexus has fit 19-inch alloy wheels as opposed to the more fashionable 20-inch and 21-inch style that you see these days. This tells me that the car is more about driving than just looking good. They're also in the fashionable dark grey, and it's got these cool orange painted 3-piston calipers at the front, or 6-piston, sorry. 255 tyres on the front, 275s on the back, provide plenty of grip. So is the GSF a worthy big brother to the old ISF? We'll be putting together a more in-depth review on the website performancedrive.com.au later on. But for now I thought I'd put together a quick point of view test drive for you, just so you can have a bit of an understanding of what it's like to drive. To start with, let's have a look at that engine. So yeah, 5-litre naturally aspirated V8, 351 kilowatts and 530 newton meters. That's up from 311 kilowatts of the old ISF. They've increased the power with the various bits and pieces that I mentioned before, but also with a D4S direct injection system. It's also got a bigger throttle body and a revised computer system. Let's start it up and have a listen. Like the ISF, it's got a nice metallic V8 soundtrack, very distinct and clear. It doesn't sound muffled at all, which is good. This car does come with a system called acceleration sound control. And basically what that is a speaker in the front and the back that amplifies the sound of the engine into the cabin. I'm not a really big fan of that sort of thing because it's a bit fake. Especially when there's already a 5-litre V8 under the bonnet. There should be no reason to enhance it at all. It should already sound very good. Fortunately, you can turn it off. Like the exterior, the interior feels very special. It's got these big buckety seats, heated and cooled, plenty of room, lots of headroom, a standard sunroof, and you've got Lexus's huge widescreen interface system. You can change the various settings, so how sensitive this little joystick thing is. You can also change what you want, so you can have split screen and things like that. And then you've got a mostly digital instrument cluster, which you can also change to view various things. So it's also got a little torque distribution gauge for the right and left rear wheels for the power delivery, G-force meter, lap timer and things like that. It's all very advanced. You get the sense that this was put together with the help of some pretty intelligent people. One thing that is a bit too intelligent for my liking is just the sheer amount of driving modes. So you've got this little dial here. So you've got Eco, which also changes the instrument cluster. Normal, Sport, and then Sport Plus. That's 4 different driving modes. You can see these down here. I'm not sure if you can see that. So you know what you're in. And then you've got 3 different modes for the differential. It's a torque vectoring differential. It's not a limited slip diff. You've got normal, slalom, and then a track mode. Where'd that go? Oh, yeah. Then you've also got 2 more driving modes for the stability control. There's a sport mode, then an expert mode. Sorry, there's the expert that come up then. So it's quite complex. You do have to really take it for a big drive to try and find the difference and what you like the most. And then you've also got a snow mode, which just slackens off the throttle response quite a bit, and the stability, the traction control is just ready to intervene as soon as possible. We'll have a quick look at the back seat. Another way this can be seen as a bigger brother to the ISF, and potentially a reason for it to be a very good car, is that it's quite a lot bigger. So the ISF was very confined in the back here, had a huge transmission tunnel. So this has got a lot more room. These big sport seats do take up a bit of space compared with the regular GS, but there's still plenty of room here. And that transmission tunnel is large, but the middle seat is quite wide, so you can put your legs either side. You've also got your own little panel here with a bunch of options for your climate and things like that, and an electric rear blind, which is pretty cool. So yeah, it's a little bit confusing, this car so far. It's very luxury focused with things like this, but then it's also ready for the track with actual track modes and expert driving modes and things like that. So it'll be interesting to see how it actually drives. Let's go and do that right now. So I've got the acceleration sound control system turned off, so we can just hear the engine as it is with no enhancements. The steering feels nice. The GS has always had very good steering, in my opinion. The latest model GS anyway. There's a fair bit of feedback. You can tell what the front wheels are doing. It does feel a little bit soft, the front end so far. But I guess that's Lexus trying to pair its luxury heritage with sportiness. Let's give it the beans and see how it goes. Yeah, it definitely picks up really nice. Instant throttle response. And that V8 soundtrack is addictive. It's like a jackhammer of an engine. It just really hammers away. It doesn't have the low-down pickup of a supercharged engine or a turbocharged engine. It's a bit old-fashioned in that respect. It takes revs to wind it out to where the power is. Peak torque comes in at about 4,000 RPM. It does feel like the gears are quite long yeah, it takes you from pretty much 30 kilometers an hour up to 100 kilometers an hour. That's all in the hunt for fuel economy. But I fear that it has sapped away some of the sort of, you know, excitement, the punchy acceleration. So I'll just try it with the differential in slalom mode. The suspension is really nice. This road's fairly bumpy, but the long wheelbase is also helping to provide a comfortable ride. But no, the suspension is quite nice. As I said, the front end doesn't feel as responsive as you'd like it to be. But that gearbox, yeah, it really makes you feel like a bit of a racing car driver. Excellent brakes too. You can really hit them hard and they don't fade. Nice pedal feel. You can't get enough of that engine sound though. It's a really nice classic V8 soundtrack. Feel the diff working away. It's trying to send power to the outside wheel to pivot you around the corner. Personally, I prefer just a mechanical limited slip differential, but you know, there's no denying the technology there. It probably is, for a wider audience or a wider range of drivers, it probably is a quicker setup if you were to drive around the track. But for real driving, hardcore driving enthusiasts, I think a limited slip differential would be a better option. You can kick it out, but it doesn't feel like both wheels are spinning at the same time. It does let go to inside wheel spin as well. In terms of speed though, Lexus quotes 0 to 100 in 4.6 seconds. We haven't tested that yet. But I'll just do a bit of an acceleration sprint now. So I've got it in first, I've got it in slalom mode still in Sport Plus with the traction control turned off, and I'll just floor it. There's no traction loss at all, it just grips up and goes. I'm not doubting the 4.6 second claim. It just doesn't feel that quick. It's definitely a fast car, but in the realms of, you know, high performance sports sedans, especially ones that have, you know, track and slalom driving modes, to me that tells me this is a serious performance car, and in that respect it's not quite as quick as I hoped. Overall, I don't know, it's not quite a disappointing car, but it's mainly because I keep comparing it to the ISF. If you just look at this as a brand new car that, you know, Lexus has never built before, which it hasn't done a high performance GS before, then it's quite impressive. It's got some impressive technologies. It's very luxurious and comfortable, which is probably the key thing for a Lexus buyer. They're going to want comfort. But yeah, it's not quite the hardcore track sedan that I was expecting, especially when it's got all these driving modes that say that it does that sort of thing. Anyway, we'll be putting together a more in-depth review on the website, where I'll go over a few of the more thorough details. I'll also drive it for the rest of the week and see how it goes in other conditions. Until then, though, I hope this gave you a bit of an idea of what the GSF is like to drive from a driver's perspective. Thanks for watching.